Welcome back everybody to another Hero RR video, and today we are rocking the beloved RC51. This is my 2006 Honda RC51 SP2, the last model year that they made this bike. And I'm out just on a nice beautiful day riding around. Welcome to my second YouTube channel, Hero RR Vlogs. If you're not a subscriber, consider subscribing. This is where I upload all my motovlog content. Anyway, I know I've been away for a little while. Good reason for that. I actually just came back from Brazil. Bom dia. That means good morning in Brazil, unless it's nighttime, then I don't know. Anyway, I went to Brazil to watch my brother get married, and now I'm back. So I was originally, before I left, I was gonna backlog a bunch of videos, but I ended up not having enough time to do all that, and so sorry guys, but I left you kind of stranded there for a couple weeks. But I am back, and today we got a topic to talk about. I wanted to update a video that I made a few years back on my main channel, basically outlining every bike that I've owned up until this point. But before we get started, I just wanted to give you guys a little bit of a teaser. Some of you guys have been asking about merchandise from my channel, and this guy's going so slow, so this gives me a chance to pull over here and show you. I got something. Check it out, guys. Key tags. They say Hero RR. They're very nice quality. They kind of have this 3D lettering, so they have a nice texture to them. I spent a lot of money making these. So, I don't know, probably between like $10 to $15 shipped. If you guys are interested, let me know. They're not for sale yet, but I have around 40 of them to sell, something like that. I'm not really trying to make any money off of them. Let me know in the comment section below, and in the future, in the very near future, I'm going to have a limited sale for these key tags. Again, they're rubberized. They're about 2.5 to 3 inches long, and they look great. Great accessory to have on your keychain. Back to the topic at hand. Today is going to be an update video on every motorcycle I've ever owned. The first bike I ever started on was a 2003 Kawasaki Ninja 250. My first bike, it cost me I think 1,200 bucks, and it needed some work. But after about a month of owning it, it was just, I was a new rider at the time. I was 20 years old, and I decided, okay, I'm not able to really handle working on a bike. I didn't know how to work on anything. I couldn't even change my own oil. I didn't know how to change oil. And so this was about 10 years ago, and I went ahead and I sold that bike after a month because it had carburation issues. And what did I sell it for? Well, I sold it for a 2012 Ninja 250. Now, I went with the 2012 Ninja 250 because it was newer, it looked a lot nicer, and I ended up selling my old 2003 for $1,500. So actually, I mean, I didn't make money because, you know, you got to register and all that stuff, but I ended up making my money back for the most part. And so I went ahead and got the 2012. It was green. It was a very nice looking bike, honestly. Very beautiful paint scheme. It kind of felt like a sport bike. The 2003, it kind of felt like an old bike, and this one kind of felt a lot newer, and it is newer. I mean, it's a newer bike than the ones I'm riding now. So it was a 2012 Ninja 250. I paid, I think, $2,800 for it. I think, something around there. And I kept that bike for about 3 months until, and by the way, at this point, I'm totally addicted to riding. At first, when I started, I didn't know if I was going to really like it or not. At this point, I knew I liked it. So I went ahead and I ended up selling it because I wanted something. Well, actually, I sold it because I went to a Kawasaki dealer, and they had on the showroom floor a 2013 Ninja 300. And at this time, I mean, there was no problems with the Ninja 250, but I was like, ooh, I can get fuel injection, I get 30% more power, because even though it's only 50 cc's more, being EFI and all that stuff, it made a lot more power. So I ended up selling the Ninja 250, the 2012, for about, I think, $3 grand, and I bought the Ninja 300. Mind you, this is all in the span of 1 year. I went through 3 bikes in 1 year. Kind of crazy, I know. But I kept the Ninja 300, And I really enjoyed that bike. That was a great bike to ride around on. I started doing mods, actually on the Ninja 250, the green one. I started doing mods like levers, and I put a Masari exhaust on it. And the same thing with the 300. Levers, Masari exhaust, just a couple basic things, Kanan air filter. Like, I did basic mods. And I started doing research, and I just started to really love the CBR 600 RR. I just, 2007 or 2008, I really wanted a 2008 red and black 600 CBR. It was the best bike, like no other bike compared to that one. I wanted that. That was my dream bike. And so I began my search for the 600. And I remember, guys, it was crazy. I remember looking at, I didn't have a lot of money at the time. Like, I'm just a kid. I'm 21, 22 years old at this time. I've been riding for about a year, a little less actually. And I didn't know what to do. I was looking at taking out a student loans because I was in college at the time to pay for a CBR 600 RR. I wanted, like, again, I wanted an 07 to an 08. This is back in like 2014, 2015. It was like an older bike, but they were around 5-6 grand, and I just didn't have that much money. So I worked my butt off. Actually, eBay is where I found my 2008 CBR 600 RRs, all silver, not the right color, but I like the silver. And I went ahead, and I remember contacting the guy on eBay and just saying, hey, I looked at the listing, and he said he was from Massachusetts. And I'm like, are you kidding me? Massachusetts? He wanted like $5,500 for it. And I was like, you know what? I put a bid on it. I don't know why I did, but I put a bid on it. And he messaged me. He was like, hey, after a few days, he goes, hey, it looks like you're going to be the winner. Do you want to do the deal? And I said, yeah, dude, you're in Massachusetts. How about we do this deal outside of eBay and whatnot? So anyway, we actually met up in person, and I bought the bike. Completely 100% stock. I mean it, guys. Not anything, not even a light bulb was different on the 2008 CBR 600 RR. It was 1,000,000% OEM. And I bought it for $5,400. I got a little bit of a deal because it had the original tires. And so at the time, I had the 300 and the CBR 600 RR. And I had my dream bike, so I was ready to move on from the Ninja 300. And I'll tell you guys one thing. Going from a 300 to a 600 is unbelievable, the power difference. Unbelievable. So I was just like head over heels for this bike. And I still have, to this day, the CBR 600 RR. I've had the bike for almost 8 years, almost 9 years now. I've had the bike for a long time, and I'm never gonna sell it. That's my forever bike. But anyway, I did sell the Ninja 300. I got like 3,200 or something. I don't know. I basically sold it for what I got for it, right around there. And I went ahead and I just rocked the 600 for a year. And then I decided, I was watching a lot of moto vloggers at the time, and I started making my own content. If you look back to my early videos, you see some Ninja 300, some CBR 600, and that's kind of what started my YouTube channel, making the 600 videos. So I went ahead and I ended up picking up a second bike. I decided I wanted a dual sport. And so I went ahead and I found myself a KLR 250. And the KLR 250 I picked up for $1,200. It's a 1987. I did a lot of research. I wanted an XT350, a Yamaha XT350, but I couldn't find one of those. But I got the KLR 250, and I was so excited to get that bike. And I did a whole build series on my channel. It was my first build series before they were even popular. I just loved fixing and working on the bikes, and that's how I started to kind of learn how to work on bikes. I liked the KLR 250, but then it started giving me reliability issues. It wouldn't start, the compression was low. I tried to do the piston rings. I did some work on it. I got it working pretty good. I just wanted something more reliable. And I do regret getting rid of it though, because that was such a cool bike and I miss it. The CBR 600 was originally supposed to be my fun bike, but I started taking that bike to work every day. And the KLR 250 became like my fun bike, and I guess that makes sense, but I was like, you know what, I'm putting all these miles on the 600. I kind of want to get something a little bit better for touring, commuting to work and all that stuff. Well, I went ahead and I started looking, and I found a 1991 Honda VFR 750. And I messaged the guy and said, hey, would you consider trading for the KLR 250? And he was like, yeah, let's do it. So I traded the 1987 KLR 250 for the 1991 VFR 750, straight up, no money. And the VFR 750, that's what kind of started my love for those bikes. I was like, the gear-driven cams, the V4 engine, that bike was so good. I loved that bike. Took it all apart. I cleaned the carburetors. I had that bike for I think around a year, and then I did some research and I was like, you know what, I can get a VFR 800. Once the VFR 750 was gone, I found my VFR 800, which I have to this day in 2023. And it's all silver, all original, and I bought it. And that was such an awesome day. That was such an awesome bike. I still miss the 1991, the 3rd gen, because you had the gear-driven cams. It was just a cool bike, man. It was just a really cool bike. But the 2003 is a better bike. I got that bike for $3,400. So now I have the 600 and the 800, and that's my stable for a couple years until, lo and behold, this bike comes up. And RC51s, I had my eye on them for a while. I made a video on the legendary RC51. My YouTube channel is starting to grow at this time, and I'm like, yes, the RC51 is such a cool bike. I would love to have one day. And I went ahead and I found this bike. It wasn't completely stock. It was modified a bit. It had the Satos. It had a lot of dumb mods on it. It had like a chrome windshield. The V-Twin Superbike from Honda in a 2006, the last model year. And obviously I still have it today. I'm riding it right now. So anyway, I got the RC51, and again, still in my stable today. And I don't know if I would ever sell this bike. I do really like the bike a lot. You know what, it's one of the bikes I know if I sell, I'll regret selling it, so I'm probably going to keep it for a long time. After this, I picked up the 2003 954, and I started that build series for $500. Fixed that bike up. Ended up, I loved that bike, the 954. I grew a huge love and appreciation for those bikes. Ended up selling it to some guy who emailed me. That's a story for another day though, but I sold it for like $2,200, something stupid, like just a ridiculous price. And with the 954 gone, I ended up wanting another project, so I picked up the ZX14, and this was during COVID now. I picked that bike up for I think $2,800, a really good deal. And I ended up fixing it up, spending some money, getting it all done up, and I ended up selling it for like, I don't know, like $5,400, and I didn't make a dime on that bike. I actually lost some money on that bike because I had to put money into it to fix it up. And the guy that's another story for another day. The guy I sold it to was like a nightmare. I wish I didn't sell it to him. I wish I just sold it to somebody else. Before I actually sold it, the 954 came up, another one. I really wanted a 954, a clean one, so I found one in New Hampshire. It was a 2003, and it was all OEM, red and black, and I went and I looked at it, so clean. I'm like, yes, this bike is awesome. I liked it, I enjoyed riding it, but I was a little soured by it, like, because I really put an emphasis on reliability, and when bikes are not reliable, it kind of bothers me. So I went ahead, I kept the bike, but my buddy, Justin from Adrenaline Cycle, he had an HP4 on the showroom floor. And he told me, hey man, if you want it, I would love to sell it to you, keep it in the family. So I really wanted the HP4, and I knew in order to get it, I had to sell some stuff. So I sold the ZX14R. I basically washed my hands with it, sold it for basically no profit at all. I think I actually lost some money on that. And I also sold my 954. And then, so I sold the 954, sold the ZX14, and I basically had like 10 grand, and then I put some more money into my pocket to buy the HP4. And then I got the HP4. And now I have the HP4, the VFR 800, the CBR 600, the RC51, and oh, by the way, I cannot believe I forgot this bike, but back a few bikes ago, I had the KTM 450. I picked that up because I really wanted a supermoto. I missed the KLR 250. This was before I ever got I think it was before I got the RC51 actually. Or was it after? I can't remember. Man, it's my memory's not been as good lately. You can go back my videos, but I got the KTM 450 sold that bike also back before I ever even got the Ninja, and I missed that bike. That was a mistake. I shouldn't have sold that bike. I really should not have sold that bike. And I did get a couple dirt bikes. Like I got the 2013 KTM 125SX. I still own that bike. I did get Ari's MB5. I still have that, by the way, and I'll keep that bike forever. Most recently picked up my track bike, the SV650, which I got for like $1,200, I think I got it for. What a deal. Like, the bike is all done up, ready for the track body work, totally everything brand new. And so anyway, got the SV650, and that's my stable today. I got the RC51, I got the VFR 800, I got the CBR 600, I have the HP4, I have the SV650 track bike, I have Ari's MB5, I have a 2013 KTM 125SX dirt bike, and that's pretty much my stable right now. Now, I know some of you guys might be wondering, well, what's next? What's next? Because I haven't bought a bike yet this year, and I don't know what's next. I really kind of am at my capacity limit for motorcycles. I don't really have much more space to add extra bikes, but at the same time, I've been itching to do a project bike. So I don't know what I'm gonna do. I really want to buy a house next, so I can build a big garage or a barn or something and put all my bikes into it, and then I can really start collecting bikes, because I really can't right now. I don't have the space. Thinking about doing a project series though, and I'm thinking about getting like a $1,000 bike and just fixing it up, selling it, not really making a profit, just breaking even. We'll see if I can make a profit. Maybe I'll try to make a profit for once, because I never do. I don't make profits on these sales. I literally break even or lose money every time. I might try to make some money though. Let's see. Maybe I can, maybe I can't. Who cares? It's all for fun, and I can document it and make videos on it. So anyway, guys, this is a long video, and I'm sure I'm going to have to cut a lot of stuff out, but this is for you guys who love my content and want to see more. Again, if you want to do the keychains, let me know in the comment section below. Say you'd like to have one. Again, I'm probably going to sell it for like between $10 or $15. I know that's kind of a lot for a keychain, but it kind of costs a lot for me to make them. So if you guys really like them, I could try to get the price down and order more. We'll see. But well, I got to gauge interest first. They're very good quality though, extremely good quality. And also, I'm going to be doing giveaways with the keychains. And I guess, you know what, let's start that right now. I'm going to pick a random person on this video to give a keychain to. Leave a comment on the video, and you earn yourself a keychain. So we're going to start with that. I'm going to give away my first keychain. So if you guys are interested in that, leave a comment. It could be a comment about anything at all, but just use the word keychain in your comments so I know you're interested in the keychain. I will pick a winner, and I will DM you on YouTube, and I'll give you 1 week to message back, and if you don't message back, I'll pick another winner, and I'm just going to do it that way. So if you want a keychain, leave a comment. Just have the word keychain somewhere in the comment. Alright guys, thank you so much for watching. If you want a keychain, leave a comment, and I will see you all in the next one. Take care, and bye-bye.
Put your little arrows out, let me live my life, the one I'd better lead. All the plans of fantasies, and we looked at them 11 ways. You said, look at me, I looked away, and you wrote the song I wanna play. Alright.